Good evening. Welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bowl Boxing. Joined by, well, both regulars now, I guess. So we've got Orkan from Scandinavia. Good evening, Orkan.
Good evening, Carl.
Thanks for joining the show, fella. And then a relative newbie who I'm not sure he earned his stripes at the weekend, if I'm honest with you, but must try harder. We got Mick. How you going, Mick?
All right, gents. Thanks for the invite again.
No bother. So let's kick off with a bit of a review from the Leigh Wood card. We're going to start with the Ezra Taylor fight. So, obviously, there's a spot in Nottinghamshire boxing at the minute, really, isn't there, for someone to take over. Is it going to be Ezra Taylor? I'll come to you first, Mick. What did you think of his performance?
I'm going to be honest, I got this one all wrong because I honestly thought that Jones would drag him into deep waters, but he beat him in his own game. Ezra Taylor did. I thought he'd try and stay on the outside. He didn't. He got stuck in and he beat Jones at his own game, like I say. He's definitely made of the right stuff for sure. Now, for me, he's got to be looking at Edmondson for the British, He's got to be moving on up. It was completely against what I expected from him. Didn't expect him to fight like that at all. And he showed his class for sure. Jones didn't really get a foothold in the fight at all for me. It was disappointing from his point of view.
Mick, is that because he wasn't good enough? I think Ezra had a good look at him for a couple of rounds at the beginning, didn't he?
I think Jones he's still got a decent future. I don't think it's that he wasn't good enough. I just think it's that Taylor's just on a different level. I just think he's got too much class for that level of fight at the minute. Like I say, I don't think it was anything that Jones was doing wrong. I just think that Ezra was just way too good for him. And like I say, hands up, I got it completely wrong. Didn't expect that kind of performance from Ezra at all. He said at the weigh-ins that it was going to be a performance, it was going to be special. And it was. It was.
Last one before bringing Ezra in. How far can he go? How far can Ezra Taylor go in that light heavyweight division, mate? He's a killer of a division.
I think European. At this point in time, I'd say European. Obviously not right now, but I'd say he could get to European at the minute. From what we've seen of him, I wouldn't say he could get to world level yet. We need to see more.
Okay. Just a quick comment in the side before I bring to Ezra. Good evening, Darren Medcalf. Darren says, I think the better the opponent, the better Ezra will perform. It's a fair point. It's a very fair point.
Yeah.
So, Orkan, give us a Scandinavian angle on this fight then, because I might be slightly biased being from Nottingham. What do you think to Ezra's performance?
I think it was very good, and it was as good as I expected. I expected a sort of statement from Ezra. I've been impressed with Ezra Taylor with the fights I've seen before. So for me, it wasn't a surprise. I think he could go on at least European level, like Mick said.
Is it just me that think, by the way, I was ringside, is it just me that thinks it was a bit of a slow start from Ezra, or am I being unkind? Was he just having a look?
It was a little bit slow.
Yeah, a little bit slow, but not that slow.
Right.
Just a couple of rounds. I thought he would come back faster from the first bell, but he won the fight clearly. He dominated the fight.
And same question to you then, Orkan. Obviously, a killer of a division. How far do you think Ezra Taylor goes?
I think it could be the top level in the UK and also European level. I'm not sure who's the European champion right now at the weight, but I think it could be up there with the best in the UK.
And last question on this fight, and just a yes or no will suffice. I will clip this up and throw it back in your face in a few years' time. Mick, I'll come to you first. Does Ezra Taylor win a world title in his career?
Yes.
And Orkan, same question. Gave you a little bit of time to think about it. Does Ezra win a world title in his career?
It depends on what world title you're suggesting.
Come on, let's not be semantic. Come on, just does he win a world title? Did you? All right.
No, I'm not sure that he will win a world title at the four biggest organizations. I believe one he could win.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You've got to think. Well, when we have the likes of Bivol, Beterbiev, the UK have got the likes of Yard, Smith, Buatsi, these guys are going to be starting to come towards the end. Ezra Taylor's going to come through that new generation. That's the only reason why I think he's got a chance. If you put him in there right now, no. But the fact that those guys are towards the end, yes, he's got the chance to do it.
Interesting. Okay, so commenting the side, Darren says he thinks once Bivol and Beterbiev go, it's wide open. So similar to what you guys are saying. Okay, moving on. Obviously, Leigh Wood was in the main event on Saturday night. Obviously, didn't quite do enough. Yeah, very deflated the stadium was and during the 9th round. I'll come to Orkan first. Orkan, give us your breakdown of the fight, and the question at the end will be: does Leigh carry on or not?
Yeah. Anthony Cacace came out and dominated more than I expected before the fight. But that Leigh Wood has been inactive had a major part in on the fight, I believe. But I was impressed with Anthony Cacace again.
Sorry, Orkan. Go on.
The Cordina, when he beat Cordina, that was a surprise for everyone. But then he dominated Josh Warrington and dominated Leigh Wood now. So to do this in his 36 now, to come up to the top level in the division is impressive.
Did Leigh Wood show enough on the night to suggest he's still got a bit left in the tank, Orkan?
Yeah, I felt that Leigh Wood started pretty well in the first 2 rounds. I thought he was very good in the start of the fight, but Anto took over from round 3 and dominated. And then when he I don't remember the round, but when he hit Leigh Wood, maybe was it round 6, round 7 when he hit him, when Leigh Wood was hit by a pretty hard shot.
Yeah. Okay, coming to you then, Mick. Obviously, you was there, like we mentioned before, Mick. The crowd were up for it. Nottingham came out and supported him, right? Give us your thoughts on whether you think he continues.
First of all, the atmosphere was unbelievable. The ring walk from Leigh was just, it was spine tingling. The ring walk, to be fair, it was superb. Leigh, for me, he didn't show enough on the night, but I think that's more because Cacace was too good. Now, for me, I was calling Cacace's resume into question before the fight. Yes, he had the Cordina win, but it was marred by the shots after the bell that hurt Cordina. He never recovered. He beat, obviously, Warrington, but what's Warrington really got left? He's not shown a lot recently. So I was calling him into question, but he absolutely dominated Leigh Wood. I gave Leigh 2 rounds. After 6, I had him 4-2 down, and I didn't get him winning another round after 6. I just think the left hand of Cacace dominated the fight, whether it was the jab or when he switched southpaw. Leigh just couldn't deal with the left hand. He just didn't really. I gave him, I think it was 3 and 4, and then after that, Cacace just upped through the gears. Leigh couldn't stay with him. I think what Ben Davison did was brilliant. He took it at the right time. He threw the towel at the right time. I've always said fighters do not need a brave coach when it comes to leaving them in there. He did the right thing. For me now, where else does Leigh go? What's the route? Does he go back and have a rematch with the likes of Warrington or not? I don't really want to see that. He's spent at the weight below. That's why he's moved up. He's not big enough to go up again. He looked flat at this weight. For me, let's call it a day. He's already overachieved massively. 2-time world champion, which nobody ever expected. After that Jazza Dickens fight, nobody thought he'd get to this level. I was one of the biggest critics and turned into one of the biggest fans.
Let me play devil's advocate with you, Mick.
Yeah.
First thing, I don't know whether I'm doing this out of desperation for a fellow Nottingham lad, but just hear me out. First point, can he get better at the weight? Obviously, first time at the weight, 18 months in activity. Could we get a sharper Leigh Wood with another full camp? And second thing, with them points being in mind, inactivity, etc. How much was it Cacace was brilliant against how much was it that Leigh Wood had ring rust?
It's one of them. It's very hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, Leigh definitely his timing wasn't right. But what is it, 37? At 37, he can't be taking 18, 19 months out of the ring. When you look at both guys, I think there's less than a year between them in age. But if you look at the miles on the clock, what hard fight has Cacace really had compared to Leigh? Leigh's had some brutal wars, to be fair. When you look at the likes of the Lara fights and things, even the Warrington fight, he was behind and pulled it out the bag. So, yeah, I mean, with a camp, he could get better. But where does he go to really get you going?
I'll throw one on there. Eddie Earns already mentioned that possibly doing Wood Warrington at the City Ground.
The biggest attraction for that is City Ground for me. That's the biggest thing because the fight doesn't entertain me that much.
From Leigh's perspective, it'll be the dough, right? Not that he needs it, but there'll be a lot of money on that table, wouldn't there?
Definitely. I mean, if you're gonna sell out the City Ground, there's a lot of money to be made there. But for me, I'd rather not see him put himself through that again. Let's just take it now. Yes, you've went out on a loss, but you've overachieved. Nobody ever thought you'd get there. I mean, Cacace's just took out 3 2-time world champions in a row. So,
however,
that's where you need to be.
There's a little caveat with that, isn't there? Cordina, except that one. Warrington, back end of his career. Twilight of his career. And the same for Wood, really. Twilight of his career. First time at the weight. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for Leigh, but I'm not taking nothing away from Anto. But I agree. I just think that itch might still be there for Leigh Wood. I think he might have he won't want to go out like that, Mick. That's my only
I agree. Well, we can't sit here and retire a man, but at the same time, I don't want to see it where the fighter's the last person to realise he should have retired.
Yeah, they might give him a tick over, right, at Nottingham Arena, just a bit of a swan song against somebody.
And it will be there.
Yeah. Darren in the side said, Leigh said himself it was hard, much harder than usual. It looked it, didn't it? It looked it. Okay,
definitely.
Moving on to the last topic of the night, guys. This one's quite an interesting one. Fisher versus Allen. Saturday night. Don't need no more explaining. First fight, I was obviously dubious. I think Dave Allen actually won the first fight. I might upset a few people by saying that. I think he won it by a round. Coming to Mick first. We all know this is a British level fight, but again, it's a bit like Conor Ben versus Eubank. There's something intriguing about it, right? So, give it your breakdown. I think I know where Orkan's going from being on the previous show, but breakdown and prediction, then Mick, take it away.
Fully agree with you. I thought Dave Allen won the first fight. A lot of people at ringside were calling it a robbery. You can't call a close fight a robbery. However, I do still think Dave Allen won the fight. I a lot of fighters get a bit lucky on the cards early in the career, and I think Fisher definitely did that night. For me, though, Dave Allen's missed the chance there. I think this time we're going to see a bit more of a smarter Johnny Fisher. I think we won't see him trying to slug his way and get a knockout finish. I think he's just going to accept the fact that he can't get a stoppage, and he's going to see it out on points, sit behind the jab, win rounds, might get into a bit of a dust-up towards the end, but I think he'll come out a comfortable winner on points this time, to be honest with you.
Well, Dave Allen's got quitting in him, can't he? He's done it before. When the going gets tough, he can quit, you know?
Yeah, I think he's even said it this week in an interview, hasn't he, where he said it was so easy to do, so I know it's there, but he's going to fight it. But like I say, I think there's a bit too much needle in this one now, considering the first fight. So I don't think we'll see him quit, but I do think we'll see him get his head boxed off a little bit. Bit like the David Price fight.
And where do you put Johnny Fisher in the heavyweight landscape? Is he alongside Jamie TKV and David Adelaide of the world, or can he go a bit further than that?
I think you've pretty much nailed it where he is there. I think if he was at this point looking at the way his fighting style and things and his ability, I think if he was to ever win a British title, he's overachieved right now. I think the only reason that he's getting the opportunities that he's getting is because he's a massive ticket seller.
Yeah. He'll fill that copper box on his own, won't he, this weekend? Let's have it right.
Yeah, definitely.
Orkan, coming to you, fella. So, give us your breakdown and prediction of this fight.
Yeah, I agree with Mick. First on the first fight, I had with the knockdown, I had David Allen winning the fight by round. For the rematch now, I agree also with Mick that Johnny Fisher will not come out and like he did against forget his name now, but his last fight when he won KO first round there. And I think he will be more control to winning rounds and take the rounds, not going for the KO early.
And where do you think Fisher belongs in the British heavyweight scene? Where would you put him?
I think I need to see more after this fight, but maybe David Adelaide. I think Moses Itoma is levels above him, but maybe David Adelaide. They could have if he wins the rematch against Takeaway.
Okay. I'm going to finish the show with something a bit different. A couple of quick fire questions. So all I want is a yes or no out of you. So Here we go. Come to you first, Mick.
Okay.
Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. Does it happen? Yes or no?
Yes.
Orkan?
Yes.
Belanga versus Shiraz has been announced. Press conference today. Who wins? Mick?
Belanga.
Really interesting. Orkan?
Belanga.
Interesting. And last one, AJ versus Fury. Does it happen this year?
No.
Orkan?
No.
Okay. That's the end of the quick fire rounds, guys. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank
Mick,
you.
thanks for joining the show, fella. Brilliant as ever.
No problem.
Orkan, thank you very much, young man. Thank you for joining Last World Boxing.
Thank you.
Agree, disagree, post your comments below. There must be much you disagree with what Mick says because he's never right. Like, comment, subscribe. This has been Last World Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel and LW Lifting. We'll see you on the next live. Thank you very much.